applause, please. Yes, sir, you can come on the dais. And I would also request all the other dignitaries on the dais to come on the dais. Mr. Chetan Bhardwaj, our chairman, then Tamona, then Shri Hem Pandey, Garth, Ms. Rini Sanyal, and Mr. Puneet Awasthi. Can we have everybody on the stage, please? So before we begin, I would request everyone to stand up for the national anthem. On behalf of Indian Direct Selling Association, extend a very warm welcome to all present here. Let's begin the day's proceedings for the release of Annual Survey 2018-19. I would like to invite one of the youngest and dynamic leader who drives IDSA in its day-to-day affairs. Please welcome Mr. Chetan Bhardwaj, General Manager IDSA, to give an introductory speech.
Good morning, Honorable Minister Sir, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur Ji, the members of the Executive Committee of the IDSA, the CEOs and Managing Directors of the IDSA member companies, the Executive Director and CEO of World Federation of Direct Selling Associations, the representatives from over 10 direct selling associations around the world, the research team from Kantar, friends from the media, our direct sellers, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Indian Direct Selling Association, I welcome you all to the release of Annual Survey 2018-19 for direct selling industry in India. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the word survey as to examine as to condition, situation, or value. This is precisely the objective behind our survey as well, to examine if the direct selling industry is on the right path to growth and to value its current contribution to the Indian economy. Honorable Minister Sir, the direct selling industry in India has been on a steady path to progress. The annual survey will tell us whether the industry that has overachieved its own projections of growth in the past continues to do so this year as well or not. While a healthy growth of any industry is a positive sign for the economy, however, direct selling does something else. A growth in direct selling results in a direct growth of entrepreneurs. And when we say entrepreneurs in context of direct selling, we don't simply refer to startups providing job opportunities. For us, entrepreneurs are our homemakers who want to supplement their family income. For us, entrepreneurs are our senior citizens who want to continue earning as per their wish even after their retirements. For us, entrepreneurs are our young college-going students who want to get the first taste of earning their own income, self-income. For us, entrepreneur means every single person present here today. Honorable Minister, sir, direct selling as an alternate method of retail sale and purchase is increasing its reach, not just in India, but around the world. Like all other businesses, India is an attractive market for the direct selling business as well. Companies are increasingly adopting this method for approaching their consumers directly. On behalf of IDSA, I once again welcome you all to the annual survey launch event and sincerely believe that we are all going to learn new aspects about this business of the future that we all know by the name direct selling. Thank you.
Could I now request the Honorable Minister and all the dignitaries present on the stage to do the lamp lighting on your left-hand side, please. Monica, could you help us, please?
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः.
Thank you so much. Could I now request Ms. Tamona to welcome the Honorable Minister with a bouquet of flowers, please? Could I now request our Vice Chairperson, Ms. Rini Sanyal, to present a shawl to the Minister, please? Thank you. Could I now request our Chairperson, Mr. Vivek Katuch, to present a memento to the Honorable Minister? Affairs of IDSA is Mr. Vivek Katuch, who has enormously contributed to the implementation of model guidelines for the direct selling industry across 13 states and envisions a prosperous future for direct sellers in India. So let's welcome him for his welcome address. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. What a splendid gathering we have. There could be no better way to kick off this 23rd annual journal meeting and annual survey release. It's indeed a pleasure to have with us Shri Anurag Thakur Ji, Honorable Minister of State, Finance and Corporate Affairs. Anurag Ji needs no introduction. He is the youngest dynamic leader in current government and a true face of Naya Bharat. Sir, we remain thankful for you to taking out time from your busy schedule to release the annual survey report, bestowing your trust. I consider this as a great honor to welcome you, sir. आपका साथ हमारे विकास का पर्याय हो, हम यही आशा करते हैं. A very good morning to the dignitary on the dais, Shri Hempande ji, Tamona, Gath, Rini, and Vice President of Kanthar, Mr. Puneet Awasthi. A special mention to our guests from across the globe, representative of World Federation, and representative of Direct Selling Association of other countries, IDSA members, and its direct sellers. It's also my duty to welcome our friend from media fraternity who have covered the endeavor of direct selling. It is indeed a pleasure to address such a delightful audience. This annual report is most awaited survey from the Apex Association of Direct Selling in India, which is IDSA. This survey undertaking every year to analyze the growth dynamic of direct selling from various perspectives and helps the assessing the potential of direct selling industry in India. The report is an insight of the current industry trend depicting economic performance and future projection. Direct selling provides employment, entrepreneurship opportunity by offering sustainable growth at low investment, hence being an ideal option for women and the young youth of the country. This business also becoming popular among the people who took up the alternate income opportunity which contributing their current employment. आज का समय युवाओं का समय है, महिलाओं के सशस्त्रीकरण का समय है और हमारा योगदान इन क्षेत्रों में उल्लेखनीय है. Direct selling has one of the sector which is very vocal about having the clear regulatory framework. IDSA in past has dialogues with several ministries and government in this regard, emphasizing the importance of the regulatory clarity in the interest of the consumer who have been duped by the fraudulent pyramid schemes. Past few years has been extreme importance to the direct selling industry, while in 2016, the Ministry of Consumer Affairs notified the direct selling guidelines, bringing much needed recognition to the direct selling industry. 13 Indian states so far adopted the direct selling guidelines, fueling the further growth. The year 2019 has witnessed a major confidence booster for the direct selling in form of Consumer Protection Act 2019, which further paves the path for specific regulatory framework for the direct selling sector. It's heartening to see the current government taking various industry-friendly measures to boost trade and industry. We remain thankful that backed by the progressive approach of the government, together with the statute backing, the direct selling industry will achieve unprecedented success in the coming years. I once again take this opportunity to thank Shri Anurag Thakur Ji for releasing the IDSA annual survey today. Sir, we seek your continuous support and guidance to see this people's business forward. I would like to conclude by saying, परिंदों को मंजिल मिलेगी यकीनन, परिंदों को मंजिल मिलेगी यकीनन, ये उनके खुले हौसले बोलते हैं, अक्सर वो खामोश रहते हैं जिनके हुनर बोलते हैं. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Vivek. Now I would like to invite Ms. Tamona, Executive Director and COO, World Federation of Direct Selling Association. Before she comes to the stage, we are really delighted to have Tamona with us, who has traveled a long distance and which shows and reminds us that we are doing a good job. So thank you for coming, Tamona. Yeah, welcome. Can we have Tamona's presentation, please? So, that's your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure for me to be here with you today, and I come to India very often. And what I would like to start my 6-minute presentation, and I want to tell you a lot about direct selling, and I want to take you around the world about direct selling. But first of all, I have 6 minutes. I would like to thank our distinguished guest, the Honorable Minister. I would like to thank IDSA for organizing this important event, and for all you, the member companies who work together as one to promote our wonderful industry. So, big round of applause to all of you. Before I start my presentation, I just want to give you a very brief introduction to the organization where I work and I love. It is WFDSA, and we celebrated 40th anniversary last year, and many of you attended. We have direct selling associations in 62 countries, And I'm so proud that IDSA is among our exemplary DSAs, and as a matter of fact, a gold level DSA within World Federation. So congratulations again. And we all know that direct selling is in almost every country in the world. So what do? We do exactly what we are doing this today. We work together with our external stakeholders, with consumer leaders, with academics, because by working together and coming under one roof, we really discuss issues, we address them, we find solutions, and as a result, everyone benefits. We do socio-economic impact studies, and if you haven't seen it before, I urge you to go on the World Federation website, because we've done many studies, over 34 studies, which show how our industry contributes to the economy and people in the countries where we do business. We empower women. We do academic and consumer educational events, and many other things. On the next slide, you can see that in India, over 600 million are youth under 25 years old. This is an amazing number, over 600 million. And we at WFDSA believe that initiatives like Skill India, Made in India, and Startup India, which is launched by the Indian government, it supports youth, will undoubtedly help the industry to grow. But more than that, we all know that our industry is world's leading provider of best business skills. No one does it better than we do. So we are so glad to support this initiative as well. Now, let's look at the numbers. And direct selling industry has grown consistently every year. And now it's almost $193 billion. And we experienced 1.2% growth. Asia is our largest direct selling market, and it constitutes over 46%. And if we look at the top 10 direct selling markets, and very soon we all believe that India will be in the top 10 direct selling markets, you can see that 10 countries constitute 79% of the global sales. And those global sales are generated by 118 million independent representatives. And it doesn't matter why they join to make it a career, they join because they like products so much, they join for the part-time opportunity or social rewards. No matter why they join, we provide an opportunity to a lot of people. And when we talk about women, we know that our industry, if we look at it, is a true micro enterprise on a global level. 74% currently in direct selling are women, and 26% are men. When I joined the industry quite a few years ago, I saw that over 80% were women, but now you can see the changing numbers, because more and more men are joining the industry, as well as couples, because they see the benefit of working together. And of course, direct selling is a success, because no matter how old you are, no matter if you have an education or not, anyone can do it. And here I want to show you the top direct selling markets, or billion-dollar clubs, and we see this. And you can see that India is in the top 20 markets in the world. And as I said, given the tremendous opportunities and potential that India has, very soon we'll see India in our top 10 markets. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamona. Now I would like to welcome Shri Hem Pandey, former Secretary, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, to come and give his address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. I know, friends, you must be keen to hear the minister. Sir, I must compliment IDSA. This is the first time, I guess, a minister has honored IDSA by his presence. In 2016, when I was Secretary Consumer Affairs, it's very rare to a regulator industry comes and tells, please give us some guidelines. I was pleasantly surprised that why does industry need guidelines? Then I realized, yes, and as a, practicing civil servant then, whatever issue used to come to me, decide. So it took me about 2-3 months to understand, and then, an issue which was pending for about more than a decade, we issued the guidelines. I don't know whether the hell broke loose or what happened after that, but your presence here this morning, sir, gives real fillip to direct selling industry that yes, it's growing double digit. You just heard what is happening in the world, so we want to come within the first 10. And for that, the blessings of the minister is fantastic, sir. And you just heard, your own home state, Himachal is the 13th state which has brought out the direct selling guidelines based on the guidelines of Government of India. We have more states who come on board, but the major states are already there. So compliments and all of you who are champions of direct selling here. So direct selling is very simple. It's a network of consumers. I consume, I pass on to the other consumers, so it's a network. But it's misunderstood. And there was a great fight between finance ministry and regulator in consumer that what to do it, because we have some, so these direct sellers follow the rules of the laws of the land. They get regulated by various kinds of things. As Secretary Consumer Affairs, I learned that there are 6 rights of a consumer. The act that we had in 1986, which has been recently amended, 2019 Act, mentions about direct selling, which was not there in 1986 because I guess direct selling was not there in this. So that act gives us 6 rights as a consumer. The first is safety of the service or the product that we buy, information on the product, then choice of products, and fourth is, if there is something wrong, somebody should hear that, look, there is something wrong with the product, and then educate us about the project. And finally, redressal, where government comes in play. There's a 3-tier structure: National Commission, State Commission, District Forum. Direct selling is one business which almost gives you safety, which gives you information, which gives you, you're directly interacting with the consumer, the customer. So it's a hugely challenging thing, and I guess which is about 2% of the world. In our industry is nascent. It's growing in India. It's a $1 billion plus right now, and it's already growing double digit with the efforts of all the champions of direct selling who are here. But I think there are a lot of cobwebs, and with the presence of the ministers, I guess those cobwebs will also go, and you will make a niche in the direct selling market in India, which is one among the varieties of retailing in the country. And we Indians know, once we know the producer or the service provider, we build a relationship, provided you are transparent, you are united, and you sell, you give us value for money. So please, direct sellers, keep giving us value for money, and I think you will grow. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Shri Hem Pandey ji. Now I would request the Honorable Minister and all the dignitaries on the stage, the all annual surveys are lying on your table in front of you, to unveil the survey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So taking the proceeding ahead, I would invite a representative from Kantar on the presentation of key highlights of the annual survey 2018-19. Over to Kantar.
Hello. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this highlights of the annual survey 2018-19. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I guess this will be better. Okay. So, welcome everyone, and we'll be presenting a few highlights of the annual survey 2018-19, which was done by Kantar for Indian Direct Selling Association. Okay. Very quickly about Kantar, I mean, it's one of the world's largest market research-based consulting organizations. It's present in 100 countries with over 30,000 employees. So very quickly about that, because we don't have so much time. So what basically is this annual survey all about? So this is basically a report which keeps the stakeholders and the policymakers updated. And it's based on primary and secondary research, which has been done by Kantar, and with close support from IDSA. And I would like to thank Vivek, Chetan, and Abhishek for their close support and help to compile this report. So essentially what we cover here in this report is the market and the competitive landscape for the direct selling industry in India. We also try to understand the key growth drivers which are going to take it forward, and also the challenges. We should be aware of the challenges which the industry faces. Very quickly, what direct selling is, everyone of us is aware of what it is, but direct selling is basically selling of goods and services to customers away from fixed retail outlet, generally at their homes or their offices, and through appointments and referrals. And it offers many benefits, which earlier Tamun also talked about. It offers entrepreneurial opportunities to the people who engage in that, with flexible working hours and also the financial freedom which it offers. It offers societal recognition, and especially for women, it's a huge opportunity for empowerment. These figures you have already seen, so I'll just run through it. These are the world global direct selling figures. I'll just come to the Indian figures. So Indian direct selling industry is estimated to be around 130 million rupees in 2018-19, and it was a 13% year-on-year growth, and it has been seeing a CAGR of more than 15% now. 60% of this annual size is from the share of IDSA members. So IDSA members contribute to somewhere around 60% of the Indian direct selling industry. And 55% is the share of wellness product categories in India. This is much larger than what we have globally. Globally, it's 33%. In India, it's 55%. So this is by far the largest category of products which is sold through direct selling in India. In India, we have 5.7 million direct sellers. This is a growth of more than 5% from the previous years. And there is, in terms of gender, there is almost a parity now. Of late, we have been seeing growth in the proportion of male direct sellers, and this year we see it's almost at par. It's almost 50-50% male and female, which again is very different from what we see globally. North and the West regions together contribute to 50% of the direct selling industry in India, and Maharashtra in the Western region is the largest state which contributes to it. So Maharashtra, UP, West Bengal, Gujarat and Karnataka are the largest states. These are the top 5 states and contribute to close to 43% of direct selling. The industry, obviously, like any other industry, faces challenges also. So one of the key challenges is the misconception among general populace about what the industry is. There are some people who do consider it as Ponzi scheme. There is a lack of awareness. So possibly that is something which needs to be worked upon. Awareness is something which needs to be increased. E-commerce obviously is a disruptor in like any other industry. And e-commerce here again in direct selling is also posing a challenge. There is also a lot of attrition and lapse in direct sellers. So direct selling, as you know, grow through networks. And if there is a lapse, you do not get the kind of optimal growth which should be there. So direct seller lapse and attrition is one of the key challenges again, which is facing the industry. Now, obviously, we know all about this, and in 2016, the Ministry of Consumer Affairs notified the direct selling guidelines, and now close to 13 states have adopted these. And this is for sure going to lead to a growth in the industry, spur to the growth in the industry. And we hope, like Tamara said, possibly we'll be in top 10 in the coming years. So we surely see a good growth. So that's all from our side. These are just the highlights, and you're welcome to see the report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, may I request the Honorable Minister for his keynote address. Before he comes and join us at the dais, I would like to say that he has graced us with his presence despite having an extremely busy schedule, and that too in the times when his ministry is working on bringing our nation's economy back on track through various policy reforms and packages. Welcome, sir.
Chairman IDSA, Shri Vivek Katot ji, Ms. Tamuna, Mr. Garth, Shri Hemraj Pandey ji, Shrimati Rini Sanyal ji, dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. As Mr. Pandey said that I am the first minister to be here, all I want to say is our government is very keen when we have set the benchmark of $5 trillion economy to be by 2024-25. The role of every industry is important, and I'm pleased to be here on your annual survey for the 2018-19 for the direct selling industry to be released today. I understand that the direct selling has been growing at a steady pace, and the industry is providing an opportunity to millions of Indians who wish to embark on their entrepreneurial journey. The direct selling industry contributes to India's growth and also creates jobs across the nation. It is commendable that this industry engages around 6 million people involved as either distributors or direct sellers, and I've been told that this number could grow to 20 million by 2024, by 2025. The fact that around 25% of the direct sellers are from the age group of 18 to 45 years is a testament that this industry has been given self-employment opportunity to our young generation. While in one of the slides which showcase the number of women being involved in this industry, if I look at the stage, here is 25% representation on the dais. But actually if you look at the direct selling industry, the woman has outnumbered the men. They are 75% and the men are just 25%. So it is heartening to hear that in this unique industry segment, the number of women sellers have increased from 2.7 million in the year 2016 and 17 to 2.85 million in the year 2018-19, which indicates that over 200 women have joined the industry every day during the past 2 years. This is a commendable achievement, and it aligns with our government's vision of encouraging and facilitating the role of women in India's growth story. An increasingly high number of women homemakers are joining this direct selling business, as this business gives them an opportunity to supplement their family income whilst ensuring there's the flexibility needed with their work. And I'm sure the target what you have set for yourself and for the industry to be among the top 10 players in the world is going to ensure a large number of women and young entrepreneurs and direct sellers to be engaged in the coming years. The direct selling industry can tie up with various schemes of the government like Startup India, Stand Up India, Skill India. The young people joining the direct selling industry can probably become future entrepreneurs and job creators with the help of various schemes of the government. Well, as far as the MSME sector is concerned, the direct selling industry is also contributing to the growth of MSME sector in the country. I understand that majority of the selling companies engage MSME operators for production of high quality products. I request to the direct selling industry to also focus on the small cottage industries, handicraft industries, artisans in the villages, and small cities and tie up with them. This can benefit both the direct sellers who can access widely available untapped industries and the small industries who have an avenue to contribute their resources towards making quality products. In the last few months, Honorable Finance Minister and I have been meeting with various industry leaders, trade associations, bankers, professional bodies, and people at large. After taking in the inputs and after deliberations with considerations, with due considerations, we have come up with some substantial reforms which will boost the economy and revive the investment and growth in the country. We announced a historical corporate tax rate cut, which is the single biggest direct tax reform in the country in the past 15 years. Domestic companies will be required to pay only 22% tax while foregoing any deductions and exemptions. The new manufacturing companies, which will be registered in India and will start their manufacturing before 2023, will be required to pay just 15% tax. Just 15%. Today you pay 34.19% tax, and if you include the cess and surcharge, you will be paying only 17%, and which provides huge boost to the Make in India initiative of our government. And I'm sure your industry will also take the benefit of this. These rates are one of the most competitive rates in the world, and we will attract fresh investment in manufacturing, which will catapult our country into a $5 trillion economy. Have you set a target for your industry? What will be your contribution to the $5 trillion economy mark? The corporate tax rate cuts will have a twofold benefit. One, they will be required to pay a reduced corporate tax, and two, they will not be anymore required to claim exemptions and deduction, which merely increases compliances and complexities. To reduce the compliance of our taxpayers, we are introducing a faceless assessment scheme from the auspicious day of Vijayadashmi this year. So, as far as the input from the industry came about the notices, about the income tax department or the GST or other issues, we have taken that seriously. We've been interacting with the income tax officers, GST officers, and the custom officials across the country. We have been traveling to across the country and telling all the officials, you should not have the approach of suspect all. They are the wealth creators of the country. We should have the approach of respect all. Till the time we don't have enough evidence for any suspicion or to have any survey, so there should be a change in your approach towards the taxpayers and the wealth creators of this country. My government, my Prime Minister, has said it on the floor of the House that we must respect the wealth creators of this country, and I can assure you, we are taking every step in that direction so that you should feel free to multiply your business in this country, and we should achieve together the $5 trillion mark by the year 2025. We have also announced an upfront release of 70,000 crore rupees for the recapitalization of the public sector banks, which will increase the flow of the funds from the banks to the NBFCs and also to the consumers. And not only releasing the funds to the banks and which will further give it to the NBFCs, we are making sure that this coming festival season in the month of October, we will having 400 programs on the grassroots level in various districts of the country, where the banks will pass on the benefits to the NBFCs and to the entrepreneurs, industrialists, and to the consumers. And we will make sure the union ministers and various senior officials and the MPs will be present during those programs, so the money which goes through the government to the bank should reach out to the last man. It will further boost the consumption, it will further boost the growth and investment in the country. We are not just meeting the industries. We met them after the parliament session was over. We spent good 10-15 days meeting them, considered and taken decisions in the last 6 press conferences what we held, whether it was the automobile sector, in where we brought out more clarity that the Bharat 4-stage automobiles which are manufactured will be used till the time of their registration. Even the registration fee which was supposed to be on the higher side has been delayed to the June 2020. Additional 15% reduction has been granted. If you look at the repo rate, the bank interest rate which has been reduced, and the benefits have been passed on to the customer. And we are ensuring that the reduction in the bank rates, interest rates, should be passed on to the consumers. At the same time, various other industries, we have taken other steps towards the MSME sector also. To boost the liquidity among the MSME sector, we have announced the release of pending GST. Refunds should be released in 30 days, the pending ones, and in future it will be released in 60 days time, not more than 60 days. So we have also announced measure to boost the housing sector by announcing a special window with a fund size of rupees 20,000 crores to provide the last mile funding for non-NPA and non-NCLT projects. Thus, this will help in the construction of unfinished units. This move will benefit 3.5 lakh home buyers who already have been supported by the government by classifying them as the financial creditors in the amended Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. I earnestly hope that the steps and measures taken by the government and the industry will respond with equal enthusiasm with bringing in more investment, which will help achieve the PM's vision of $5 trillion economy. I wish good luck to your industry, to the Indian Direct Sellers Association and their members. I'm sure you're going to work hard, do well. Mr. Pandey has said that while he was in position, he took many steps to bring in more clarity as far as your sector is concerned. In the recent parliament session, we have passed many laws from triple talaq to the abrogation of 370 to 35A, which most of you believe may not happen in your lifetime, but this decisive government has done so. So whether it was related to the rights of the Muslim women, to the rights of people of Jammu and Kashmir, and also taken the landmark decisions, historic decision as far as the industry is concerned, the corporate tax rates are concerned. We are open. We are very open to listen to the voice of the industry, not only listening, but we have been acting on them as well. So as far as your industry is concerned, there may not be many issues directly related with my ministry, but even anything to do with the Consumer Affairs Ministry, we will be more than happy to sit with you and understand the challenges faced by your industry. By the end of the day, if we have to grow in each segment, whatever legally possible, we'll be more than happy to do that, to take it to the next level, so that you should not only look at among the top 10 countries. If India is going to be among the top 3 economies of the world, why should you look at only to be among the top 10? So I could not say no to Mr. Vivek Katoj to be part of this program. I had a very, very important meeting today at 11, but I was pressed hard for that meeting, but I could not say no. He ended his speech with the शेरो शायरी आपने कर दी, मुझे भी करनी पड़ेगी. और उससे मिलता जुलता ही कुछ कहना चाहता हूं. जिंदगी की असली उड़ान बाकी है, अभी कई और इम्तिहान बाकी हैं. अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमी तुमने, अभी तो सारा आसमान बाकी है, अभी तो सारा आसमान बाकी है. So from 4 million to 5.6 million, there is a growth of 40%. Am I right? Is that the right number? And in how many years? Just 2 years. And you can see the possibility and the opportunity which is waiting, and I think we should take the advantage of this. And I'm sure you're going to do well in this direct selling industry. My best wishes to you and to the industry leaders, your members. Let me again thank IDSA for inviting me here and to be part of this. I once again congratulate you and thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for such encouraging words, Honorable Minister. Now I would like to invite Garth Willey, Executive Director, Direct Selling Association, New Zealand, to share his address. Thank you.
Thank you. And it is a great honour to be here, invited by the Indian DSA, an honour to share the stage with the Honourable Minister and with Tamuna. I wanted to just sort of focus on a few things. Firstly, New Zealand is a really small market, and yet as an industry we've become a strong industry. Now, India, by contrast, has a large market, but is yet to grow to its full potential. And there is genuine opportunity in that. But that growth is not just around growth within India itself, it's also about growth externally from India. And I'd like to sort of point out that, you know, in New Zealand, we've got companies that don't sell very much products inside New Zealand, but they manufacture their products there, they export them to the world, and they use direct selling to get their products into worldwide markets. So the opportunity isn't just about growing the business within the Indian market, it's also about growing employment through other areas. So if you're manufacturing your goods and you're exporting those goods also outside of India into other markets, you're going to grow the economy of India even more than just recruiting and growing the business within India itself. So the opportunity is twofold. It is to grow the business because you do have a huge population that you can actually genuinely grow to be that number one spot, I believe. There's no reason why India couldn't be challenging China or the US at some point in the future for that number one spot in the direct selling industry. And that's for both the job creations, the work and income that comes from being involved as an independent distributor, and obviously the growth potential from companies being able to grow business not only inside India but outside India. I'd just quickly like to touch on law, because obviously I'm aware of the regulations that have been promulgated, and it's a promising move. In New Zealand, we've had direct selling law since 1968, specifically for the industry. That was reviewed about 9 years ago now, and it was incorporated into our main consumer protection laws. And we actually have a complete section that is on direct selling. So we have very good direct selling law. The rules are very, very clear for the businesses. They're very clear for the direct sellers, the independent contractors. They know what they need to do and what they can and what they can't do. And so it is really good to have those laws in place. So I would certainly encourage the adoption of good direct selling law in India on that basis. I'd also like to point out that in New Zealand, our independent contractors don't face any withholding tax. And the reason they don't face any withholding tax is that our Inland Revenue Service has issued a guideline which basically sets out the rules on which they must pay their taxes. And as good citizens, they obviously will still have to register. There's still goods and services tax paid regardless. But the actual income that they earn is not subject to withholding tax as an independent contractor. They still have their obligations in law, and there is an expectation that if there's an income there, that they should be paying a reasonable amount of tax on that. So it is important that we empower the direct sellers to get out there and actually grow the business and not feel hindered by any of the rules that might be there, but also have rules that are clear in that sort of aspect. Last but not least, I'd just like to sort of touch on a couple of the cases from New Zealand. Now, the earliest cases I could find of direct selling companies in New Zealand started in 1928, and that company is a well-known international brand, Electrolux. And they would start direct selling in New Zealand from that point on. They changed their model over the years from direct selling into retail. But as a company, they established their brand through direct selling. So it actually enabled them to become a retail brand at some point in the future. They would never have got there if they'd just gone directly to retail internationally at that point. The other one is a much more recent company called New Image. New Image is a small New Zealand company, started out as a very small company. It does dairy products, it does a product called colostrum, and they sell that product around the globe. Because with New Zealand having just 5 million people, and we compare that to over 1 billion here, it's a very small market. So the only way a company of that nature can really grow its business is to export and to create direct selling businesses elsewhere around the world. That business is now selling, and it is public domain by the way, over $300 million New Zealand in products. That is, for a small New Zealand company, quite a growth. It started in 1979, and obviously it has grown through those years. In 1979, of course, is only 1 year after the foundation of the World Federation, and I am pleased to say that New Zealand DSA was formed in 1974, and in 1978 we were one of the foundation members of the World Federation. It is important that we have a World Federation. It is something that gives us common ground. It gives us the ability to look at one another, to look at the way we do laws and practices within each country, and of course we have a global set of code of ethics, which does give us a good benchmark. And in New Zealand, when we rewrote our consumer law, the ministry came to us and said, well, what's the best practice? So we said, well, here's our code of ethics. We think that's pretty good practice. They took that away and they rewrote just a couple of bits, and basically that's what ended up in the law. So it is possible that when you look at we have good practice available. We have good knowledge about what is good practice in terms of law. So I would encourage, certainly progress in that space. And at that, I'll finish my time up here. I think it's probably a bit over.
Thank you, Garth. We have to little cut short, and thank you, Honorable Minister, to be here. Could I request CEOs and MDs for a group photograph with the Minister and all IDSA members? Because the Minister has to leave. We'll just do the setting, photographer. Could you help us do the setting, please? So one line can stand down, please. Stand down on the floor. Chetana, आप आगे चले जाइए. Can you come here? Thank you so much, everyone. We'll continue the session. I would request everybody to be seated. And we have one more address, which is actually one of the most important as well, a thank you address. I think let everybody settle down, Rini. Let everybody settle down and we'll kind of do it, Yeah. नहीं चलने दो.
So the minister has some pressing issues, so he has to leave. But we would like to thank him for his presence and his time and instilling a kind of confidence within the sector and the direct sellers so that the business can grow and we can expect a good kind of support from the new government. At the, we have come to the close of the session, so this is time to thank you for your support and continuous cooperation. So I'd like to thank the Minister, definitely the Honorable Minister. He has come and spent some time with us, give us assurance that his government will do a lot for this sector. Secondly, we'd like to thank Sri Hem Pandey, who is the former Secretary of Ministry of Consumer Affairs, for continuously guiding IDSA and continuously providing his support. We are thankful to have Tamona with us today, and we are honored that there are 12 different DSAs across the globe is here, and we are very thankful to all of you to be here today with us on this auspicious occasion. We are thankful that many of the CEOs have taken out their time and to be with us. We are thankful to you too. We are very thankful that Madam Indani is here. She's our code administrator. So IDSA is not about business. It's all about instilling faith in the business we do and the right way to do the business. And Madam Indani is with us for quite some time, so we are thankful, ma'am, that you are here with us today. Thank you so much. We would like to thank our partner for the whole show, the impact. Give a big round of applause to all of them. Without them, this whole show was never been like this. So we are thankful to Kulpreet and her team. We are very much thankful to Cantor to be with us, and Piyush and his team has done a brilliant job. That shows how the direct selling industry is doing well year on year basis. And at the end of the day, all the member companies and the direct sellers, the entrepreneurs, to be here with us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rini. So we have a short break now, and after that, I would like everybody to join in, because we are going to have a leadership forum. And to moderate the leadership forum, we have none other than Mr. Siddharth Zarabi, Executive Director, BTVI, with us, right? So I would like you to have a short break, maybe a 10-minute break, and everybody joins us back for the leadership forum. So you can join us out for tea and coffee. Thank you so much. So it'll be a very short break. So maybe you could stretch also and come back.